413 million subscribers. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of the United States. That's more subscribers than any individual human being has ever had on any platform in the history of the internet. And it all started with a kid who couldn't even afford a proper camera. Today, we're going to break down exactly how Jimmy Donaldson, a middle-class kid from Greenville, North Carolina, became the biggest creator YouTube has ever seen. Not just the subscriber count, not just the money, the why, the how, the obsession, the sacrifice, the strategy, and the genuine madness behind one of the most remarkable success stories of the 21st century. Stick around, because this story is wilder than any video he's ever posted. A kid with a secondhand laptop and an obsessive mind. James Stephen Donaldson was born on May 7, 1998 in Wichita, Kansas. He grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, raised mostly by his mother, Sue, who worked in the military, which meant the family moved around a lot. By all accounts, it was a pretty normal middle-class upbringing, but Jimmy was never quite normal. Even as a young kid, he described himself as having what he called an obsessive personality. When he got into something, whether it was Lego, baseball, or video games, he didn't just like it, he consumed it, he studied it, he broke it down to its smallest parts. And at around 11 years old, the thing he became obsessed with was YouTube. Now remember, this is 2009, 2010. YouTube is still young. The idea that you could make a living as a content creator is almost laughable. But Jimmy didn't care. He made a decision that most people would call delusional. He decided he would either become a successful YouTuber or he would spend every waking hour trying. In February 2012, at just 13 years old, Jimmy created a YouTube channel called 𝐝𝐸𝐸𝐸6.000, named after the gamer tag his Xbox randomly generated for him. He started filming with a secondhand laptop in his bedroom, making videos about Minecraft, Call of Duty, and what he found genuinely interesting at the time, guessing how much money other YouTubers were making. Yeah. He was literally sitting in his room at 13, reverse engineering the economics of YouTube before he made a single dollar from it himself. For the next 4 years, almost nothing happened. Let that sink in. 4 years of uploading videos, studying analytics, testing ideas, and barely anyone was watching. His videos averaged around 1,000 views. Not millions, not thousands of subscribers. 1,000 views per video. Most people would have quit. Most people did quit when they had channels that performed better than his, but Jimmy Donaldson is not most people. While his classmates were watching TV or going to parties, Jimmy was spending 18-hour days studying the YouTube algorithm, not just watching videos, dissecting them. He was analyzing thumbnails frame by frame. He was studying retention curves. He was asking, why does someone click this video but not that one? Why do viewers stop watching at the 4-minute mark? What emotion makes someone share something? He wasn't just a kid who wanted to be famous. He was a scientist who had chosen YouTube as his laboratory. I counted to 100,000 and everything changed. After graduating from high school in 2016, Jimmy's mother wanted him to go to college. He enrolled at East Carolina University. He lasted 2 weeks. Instead of going to class, he was sitting in his car making and editing videos. When his mom found out what was happening, she kicked him out of the house. His response? He reportedly told her, "I'd rather be poor than do anything besides YouTube." Now homeless and broke, but completely free to go all in on YouTube, Jimmy had an idea. A simple, almost stupidly simple idea. What if I just counted to 100,000 on camera? That's it. No gimmick, no special effects, just Jimmy sitting there, counting. For 40 hours. He filmed it. He sped it up so it played in 24 hours, and he posted it in January 2017. Within days, it had tens of thousands of views. Now, why did it work? This is where things get interesting. It wasn't just a weird video. It was a perfect demonstration of commitment. Nobody watching could truly comprehend sitting there counting for 40 hours. It was so extreme, so pointlessly committed, that it triggered something in viewers. Curiosity combined with respect. Jimmy understood something that most creators don't. People don't just want to be entertained. They want to feel something. And watching someone do something that absurd, that dedicated, people felt something. The video went viral. Jimmy hit 1 million subscribers by the end of 2017. But that was just the beginning, because now Jimmy had a formula, not just do weird things, something deeper. The formula was this: find the most extreme possible version of an emotion and deliver it on screen. Every video from this point forward would be built on that principle. He made money just to spend it all again. Here's the thing most people don't understand about Mr. Beast. He never built his channel to get rich. He built it to get bigger. From the very first moment he started earning real money, Jimmy did something counterintuitive. He put almost all of it back into the videos. In 2018, when most YouTubers his size were buying nice apartments or cars, Jimmy was giving away $10,000 to strangers in Walmart. He was tipping pizza delivery drivers $10,000. He was paying for people's groceries, not because it was cheap content. These were real dollars coming out of real earnings. And what happened? The videos performed even better. More views meant more ad revenue. More ad revenue meant bigger stunts. Bigger stunts meant more views. He had created a flywheel. By 2019, the videos had gotten insane. He recreated the entire set of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. He built a real-life battle royale. He spent $200,000 on a single video. He was spending more money on YouTube content than some television shows spent on production. But here's the key. He was always making back more than he spent. And every dollar that came back in, it went right back out the door into the next video. He said in interviews that he keeps less than $1 million in his personal bank account at any time because everything else goes back into the business. His philosophy is almost monk-like. Money is not the goal. Money is fuel. By 2020, Jimmy had 49.5 million subscribers. His team had grown from just him in a car to dozens of people, many of them childhood friends from Greenville. He doesn't make videos, he engineers experiences. Let's take a moment to really break down what makes a Mr. Beast video work. Rule number 1. The title comes before the video. Jimmy does the opposite of most creators. He writes the title first because if the title doesn't immediately make you click, the video doesn't get made. He's using the knowledge gap theory, the psychological itch you get when there's something you don't yet know. Rule number 2, hook viewers in the first 5 seconds. Retention in the opening seconds is everything. Rule number 3, escalating stakes. Every Mr. Beast video builds. It doesn't flatline. Rule number 4, production quality that makes YouTube feel like Hollywood. His Squid Game recreation cost $3.5 million. But perhaps the most interesting rule is rule number 5, genuine emotion beats performance. When he changes someone's life, that moment is authentic, and audiences can feel the difference. The most generous man on the internet, you cannot tell the story of Mr. Beast without spending serious time on his philanthropy. In January 2023, Jimmy posted a video where he paid for the surgery to restore the sight of over 1,000 people. He then did the same thing for people who were deaf and funded wells in developing countries. Team Trees raised over $23 million to plant 20 million trees. Team Seas followed, raising over $32 million to remove plastic from the oceans. Here's the fascinating paradox. The more good Jimmy does, the more criticism he receives. People accuse him of fake generosity or exploiting the people he helps. His response, you'll get less hate buying a mansion than curing blindness. The cynics may never be satisfied, but the lives changed are real. From YouTube to a billion-dollar business by 2024, Mr. Beast wasn't just a YouTube channel. It was a corporation. Feastables, his snack brand, generated $215 million in revenue in 2024. Mr. Beast Burger grew to over 1,700 locations. Beast Games, his Amazon Prime Video reality show, launched with a $50 million production budget. By the end of 2024, his media business generated $226 million. Forbes estimated his net worth at over $700 million. His full business, Beast Industries, was projected to approach $900 million in revenue in 2025. He said publicly that his goal is to eventually be worth billions, not so he can live lavishly, but so he can give away more, build more, and impact more. And by May 2025, his main YouTube channel alone had crossed 413 million subscribers, making him the single most subscribed individual creator in the history of YouTube, having surpassed even T-Series, the massive Indian media corporation, to claim the #1 spot. That is not a typo. A 27-year-old from North Carolina who started filming videos on a secondhand laptop now has more subscribers than a multi-billion-dollar media company with an entire nation of content. It would be easy to end the story here and call it a fairy tale, but the truth is more complicated and more interesting. Jimmy has been remarkably open about what this level of success actually costs. He regularly works 16-hour days. Also, false with some exceptional gay bully and some of these stories that are live subscribers and forecasts, you regularly work 16-hour days. He described once being hospitalized in South Africa with a severe flu, lying in a hospital bed, and still thinking about what video he could be making. When asked if he's happy, his answers are surprisingly raw. Most people, if they had a few $1 million, would slow down. But that's why no one else does what I do. He's described feeling like a zoo animal, constantly moving from one project to the next, with little time for rest or normal human experience. The same obsessive wiring that made him successful makes it psychologically almost impossible for him to stop. His relationships, romantic and otherwise, have been strained by the demands of an operation that never truly stops. His health has been impacted. His sense of identity is deeply intertwined with what he produces. 2024 also brought significant controversy. Allegations emerged about working conditions for employees and video participants. Some former staff members raised concerns. Jimmy addressed these publicly, disputed several claims, and promised changes. Whether you take his side or theirs, it was a reminder that building something this large, this fast, with this much money and pressure, inevitably creates friction, mistakes, and human cost. None of this erases the accomplishment, but it does add texture to the portrait. Jimmy Donaldson is not a superhero. He's a human being who made an extraordinary choice very young to sacrifice almost everything else in pursuit of one goal. And that choice, made obsessively and completely, produced results the world has never seen before. Whether or not that trade-off is worth it is something only he can answer. So what do we take from all of this? Is the lesson work 18 hours a day and give everything up? Not exactly. Is it be generous and people will reward you? Closer, but still too simple. Here's what I think the real lessons are, if you care to take them. First, obsession, directed properly, is a superpower. Jimmy didn't just work hard, he worked hard at understanding. He studied YouTube the way great scientists study nature. with curiosity, rigor, and a genuine desire to know how it worked. That intellectual obsession gave him an edge no amount of talent alone could provide. Second, reinvestment compounds. Every time Jimmy took his earnings and put them back into making the next thing better, he was making a bet on himself. That cycle, quality creates growth, growth creates resources, resources enable more quality, is the flywheel behind everything he built. Third, authenticity at scale is rare and powerful. In a world full of performance,